team. And all eyes on Mary, I think, early on here. See what she can accomplish on this chamber for her. She used to be the baiter on the team, having to play a Sage, wait for the team to have to show up, but now full steam ahead for her and Juliano on the Raze.
With this bait, it will just be the cat on in. Mary not able to find that initial shot. Alyssa will drop her down, and babytz actually going for more aggression. X10 picks 2 up immediately, and G2 has no response. They're zoned by the Sage Wall and forced to fall away. Yeah,
they may be getting a little greedy. They're trying to push past the Sage Wall. Yeah, they were able to break it, but got a little ahead of themselves off of that. But this is that mid lurk I was talking about. Not really a lurk when the whole team is around it, but you can see Glance very much in the front here. No Viper Wall or any setup for them when they do work into this B site, and you have to be concerned about Muffyn, an excellent player over here for X10, but gets caught on the timing. Glance and Petra pick up a couple, and the round immediately back in G2's hands.
And now trouble for X10. It's all Glance. Finds the third. Alyssa alone, trapped in mid, and G2 has no awareness. A slow orb down for the moment. And that spike is ticking. Mimi spots her. Alyssa will find the first, a second. Onto the headshot. She needs just one more glance. Already huge in this round, and now holding down, hiding behind that wall. She has the time on her side, and she's got the shot too.
Yeah, in 2019, which is just unreal.
She was a fan back then, and now she'll have to take them down if they want to stay alive in this upper bracket. Towards B, this time G2 will head more akin to their normal style with this composition. I think the biggest difference, not having that Sova to drone out buff. She will be traded back.
Definitely will be. Already just sort of blitzing on over here. I think X10 maybe a little bit slow to get the rotations on through. Lots of tools, but no wall on Mimi does make things a little bit more difficult without having sort of the rifles to spam through the Viper smokes, though I think they can play this a little bit more patiently, maybe bring down that Viper utility and play these longer range fights.
Very forward, has this rendezvous set up, but Juliano's nade just finds one, and G2 is cleaning up. Holly will deal a little bit more damage, but this should just be a formality. That is, unless Alyssa can get a little bit cheeky. 1 versus 2 now. Another go. Try to. At this clutch, her position very much noted, and G2 playing this one together. Both members healthy, so a difficult task, but even another kill here could put her in the right direction. Up top holds Juliano, and Alyssa not quite ready for that one.
Absolutely
not. Now an Icebox with this brand new composition. Juliano will have the onus put on her with that Spectre in hand. Everyone else just stuck down to the pistols. Don't want to enter too much into this one, as X10 will just hold passive with these compositions, with the Killjoy. You're relying on letting your opponent scale into you.
Yeah, the one concern I have with the Killjoy here and the utility being set up on this A site is there's a Raze on the opposite side. Raze, not a super popular pick on this map, but so effective at just annihilating Killjoy utility. The paint shell is just a little bit too distant there, so you can see the alarm bot is still going to be there. Turret still up, as well as a couple of Molotovs. Just guard the entrances towards the site, the wall as well. So G2 going to have to slowly work their way, bait out that utility before fully committing, and the Viper Wall comes down to signal the hit.
They do still have that alarm bot for contact, and Alyssa playing close. Stall utility is good, and there's even a dart to hold G2 at bay, but they're just waiting for all of this to drop. Their final opportunity to come. Getting a spike plant, even with these pistols, would be great. And for X10, on this setup, their goal is to stay away from that retake, to deny early. Up top, alarm bot will make contact, and Alyssa, she's got the angle. 2 frags picked up, and a pretty simple cleanup on the site. Lance is trying to work another one of these lurks, but very aware is Polly on the other side, and support available there by babytz. Lance will find one, though. Has Polly isolated, but would have to push her own molly to take that duel, which is 35 HP, and support on the way. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, really solid lockdown there.
So you can lean a little bit more to playing that retake on the A site. Use that ult to find a little bit more, but you do have lots of tools to contend with that Raze in the composition. And this time they will scale fast towards A. This is a big difference from their previous comp, where they are a very heavy B team on their attack.
Yeah, when you're playing the sort of Jet as the duelist and playing a lot of the info around mid with the Killjoy, you can definitely work into that B site a little bit easier. But with this Raze, I think it allows you to clear back 410. You can do a lot of things. The Fade, Haunt, or C's coming out as well. And already Juliano very far forward here and alone.
And Alyssa's kind of stuck here. She'll be slow orbed off everyone from X10 in these backlines, and Glance has that Viper's Pit. Mary will try and hold the line, and dropping from above is Juliano, but maybe Bay plucks her from the sky. 3 versus 3, the pit holds, the wall is up, and X10 is slow on this rotate. babytz just sort of stuck on this site at the moment, was walled off, so had a little bit of protection,
but intelligent to hold time, get the rest of her team to rotate over on here. They have the Viper wall to make things a little bit easier, but face checking in towards Glance. You can see the gun, but no, the kills aren't there for Glance. The Viper pit is going to be coming down, and Mimi from backside finds 3, turns it around with Petra on the trade. G2 look like we're going to see a big change from X10 coming into this round. Killjoy again going to be set up over towards A. Of course, this is going to be a bit of a thrifty round for X10, but they're going to have to find some way of dealing with this raise, maybe switching up some placements of the Killjoy utility so that it's not so easily cleared.
Muffyn will hold close, has a rendezvous to get out, but can't find that initial shot, so Polly is just holding alone towards back yellow. G2 very committed to the scale into B, but after losing a member, things could get a bit interesting. Roomba up, but that orb will kind of segment G2 off on this end. They have to clear back yellow, and they cannot get Polly out of this position. She'll make the decision to leave herself, but still, G2 sit at Amanda's advantage.
Polly finding 2 big kills, but here come G2. Mary on the attack, getting tagged through the Viper wall. Somehow is able to reclaim and get back towards yellow. Not spammed easily out through that one. The Sage wall is going to come up, and that's going to block out the shock darts too. So very easy to get that plant down, and X10 unable to deny for now.
JinNy on the shot, but G2 just wants to fight. Petra swings forward, grabs 3, and Mary is there for the last. A great realization of
just beyond B, maybe a reactive ult there if you hear some stuff around that. But Juliano instantly on top 2, maybe to counteract an early Viper's pit.
Oh, Juliano, there's a player just below her. She does have that awareness. Nade, I think that's actually just to break that trademark there, but isn't able to take it down. And now Mary is pushed so deep, but I think she thought she finished that food. JinNy is still alive. She'll find that trade back, and now G2 in dire straits. They've lost all their control of mid with JinNy redroning.
Yeah, it's crazy because it seemed like G2 had the read in the timeout of, hey, they're not really playing that huge walk up all the way into pallet, but the X10 frontline there just locking it down, and now they G2 make this call. We work into B because we have the Vipers wall to play off of, and Glance finds that opening kill. That's unreal to start this attack off for G2.
She'll push deeper as well through her own orb, trying to take a duel here. Polly is now planted, but Glance is on a bit of an island, the forward wall, so G2 can stay on the site for this post.
That's the whole idea, right? We're down in numbers, so we don't want to play that sort of, shooting gallery from back yellow. It all comes down to Glance, this first point of contact for G2, but still chances to trade with Mimi lining up and now calling Glance out as the lockdown comes in.
They're forced to concede that space, and babytz a well-timed swing onto Petra. 2 less standing. Mimi and Glance, they have the time on their side. A Sage wall is up, a tap on the spike, but no one holding Alyssa. She's gonna try and stick this one down. The swing is there, but she's gotten it half. It's only Glance, but she's found 3, trying to find something more, but Mimi just cannot do it.
The 3K not enough, and it's Alyssa to find that round win out for the team.
But now, that operator in her hand.
Let's play.
You can see the crowd trying to get back on G2's side here, and G2 not concerned about that B site anymore. Glance is working that mid lurk, so when things get a little bit dicey for G2, returning to some of the trends that we've seen from them previously, already walking all the way down tube, and no one's actually played Kitchen just yet, so Glance breaking this is going to cause some chaos in the minds of X10. Their 2 B players have pushed into B main, but realistically, G2 could be almost anywhere, pushed back on towards the back of B site or towards X10 spawn.
I actually really like this call from X10. Instead of re-rotating to clear towards Kitchen, towards their spawn, they have a player hold their flank and go for a double flank. If G2 doesn't go fast, there'll be 2 players in their back line.
I think they may be able to spot the spike here. You can see Polly pushed all the way garage. If the spike is on the left side of the cans, they would see that and could instantly sort of play back, guard that.
Did.
Polly gets the kill. That is massive, and Juliano flies into the back lines, gets that opening frag, and wants a little bit more, but babytz locks her down.
And the objective has been lost. There's no sight of it for G2. They've gone too fast on this execute, and now they have to work all the way back through their spawn, but they're making it happen. Glance and Mary, both for 1. It comes down to this pinch, and there's a Viper's pit for Polly. She'll pop it straight onto the spike. An operator holding on that other angle, and only 20 seconds for G2. This is a catastrophe.
I mean, you have to sprint into it, but there's an operator outside the pit. How are you going to expect that? Muffyn and Polly get the double flank option, spot another mid look. Likely a couple of satchels to work towards top 2 with the Sheriffs. It's actually going to be under tube right off the bat. They know there's early B main pressure, so they're trying to sneak their way onto the site. And Juliano opens it up with the Sheriff. What is that?
Muffyn needs to survive back yellow. She's the only force remaining on this site. She'll find one. No say teleport to get out, but does it matter? Muffyn has found a second. They're walling out in the open. G2 trying to pinch onto her, and Mimi will find the shot. Back to a 3v3. Now that op can be recovered.
Really strange wall from Mimi. Look how deep that is on the site, sort of blocking in any players from orange working on towards there. Is able to get the resurrection back yellow too, and very aware that Alyssa's going to try and swing around the side.
This round, no flank for X10, but they do have the res. However, none of those players available, and G2 is holding these lines so deep. Juliano, she's received a gift, and she is making use of it. One shot connecting the slow orb down, and babytz just has to swing into this line, and somehow she'll still get the kill.
It's still just two sheriffs.
And there's a Sage wall. They need to spam it so quickly. babytz will get this to half. The mollies are there. The Wally's still up. Glance needs to stop this. She'll jiggle in and out. Knows the time is on her side. But JinNy, she's attempting to stick. It will not happen. Glance. Muffyn does have that tour de force. She was the only one who made that round as close as it was previous, but G2 won't head into her. Instead, they play the slower look towards A as X10 does look to creep up here.
This is finally a new way of playing, I feel like, for X10, because they've been doing sort of the same thing a lot over and over in these rounds, really trying to test it with that early A push on the Thrifty. But I think one more time, Glance has just unlocked this ability of no one's actually going to watch me in kitchen. I can break that, and again, the chaos, the uncertainty for X10 now weighing on them as babytz just finds a kill in A. I mean, you can rely on a player like that. That is impressive.
And Mary wants to go hunting for more. The youngest player in this tournament put on a role that enables her, and they're putting on a show. Glance 2 of her own. This is a pretty simple anti-eco. Muffyn is still alive, though. How's that ult? Maybe she can get something here in the 1v4.
All right, the coping's coming in strong here. This is a good-looking G2. And yeah, that operator can do a lot of things, but not when Juliano is on the hunt. Look at her, ready and wait. She can hear the footsteps of Muffyn, knows exactly what's going on. Petra's not even getting greedy, right? She's gonna swing under tube as soon as Juliano makes contact. You're not gonna do anything, and Juliano got a little bit hungry. Had from Snow Pile. That's a really good switch up for them. Does make their A-hold a little bit lighter, but with this alarm bot going down pallet too, it shuts down really any of those mid lurks that Glance has been going for.
G2, though, actually not putting any emphasis on mid this round. Instead, they're just heading straight for an A hit here. We'll have to see if the changes for X10 are enough to hold this site.
Well, that's the thing, is it's just one molly that instantly gets broken. I guess a Sage Wall could come into play. babytz hasn't locked that in just yet, but in terms of actual fighting power on this site, it's much weaker than previously.
Polly's been seen. She could be in trouble here. Orb to get out, but up top is Mary taken down. Sees for the trade on a spam through the smoke. So 4 versus 4. And Glance again on this lurk. Now they have to set the alarm bells ringing. Someone has to contend with this. This should weaken the hold towards F.
But notice, as this res comes through, JinNy is playing much more over towards screens. babytz is able to find one and get that res off. So a big swing, and also Viper utility still up on it. It's going to be hard for G2 to scale.
Another layer to this lurk. Glance keeps pressuring in mid. JinNy actually walking all the way around. There could be backstabs on backstabs in that area of the map, but it's relying on X10 living in the backlines of this site, because Glance could beat the timing. If she wins against Alyssa, she has this site cracked open. It's Polly alone. It's Petra for 3, and it's JinNy in the backside. Glance has this pit up. A dart will go in. Does it spot her? Not quite. She needs this kill now, and we'll be able to grab it now. Just Petra in close, and JinNy for 2. The veteran claims the round for X10.
Oh, what a hero play coming through from JinNy to wrap it up. And not just that, like, respect to JinNy for winning that 1 versus 2 right there before Muffyn was...
Mid-splits and lurks, which X10 seems to have a good read on.
Seems like another mid-split here for Juliano, working up on top of 2, but you have to keep in mind, lockdown is ready for Alyssa, so executing onto the B site, the post plant does get a little bit tricky when that lockdown comes into play. JinNy forced perhaps to use the early drone, but nah, she wants to take the fight first.
As the information, a tag there is big. Mary might just have to concede this space or risk sticking around in the danger area. Alyssa on the re-clear. Mary is now trapped out in the open unless she can teleport out of this one. And X10 is trying to hunt her, but there's a timing here. Mary's made it past, not quite. JinNy on the turn, Juliano on the trade. That's her up top of tube. And now this is gonna be a split. Again, pressure is with Muffyn. She's been here before last time. A 2K to keep her team in the round, but G2 cancel.
Yeah, they're just gonna run away. I think Muffyn had already used the teleport. 15 seconds on that cooldown was low, but not. They don't even want to deal with that operator at all.
With Alyssa dead, mid-pressure here is huge for X10.
It absolutely is. No utility to sort of guard that one out, but G2 aren't trying to activate a lurk or anything like that. Instead, just instantly bursting out onto this A site once the utility is going to come in. Mimi has that ult ready to go, and on the zipline, you can't kill babytz, but they're able to find that kill behind the box regardless. Polly will be cleared on through. G2 very diligent working into this A site.
Has to be JinNy again. Practically full utility bar that drone in an isolated duel, but it's a wall bang. Not gonna convert, hard pressed to commit to this retake. That operator in the hands of Muffyn, an early kill is really needed to activate this.
I just don't know if it can actually happen here. Not a ton of credits, 250, 300 on Muffyn. Yeah, you don't want to commit the ultimate here for JinNy. The operator has to be saved. So X10 gonna back on out of that one, live to fight another day. And they're gonna be using these last few seconds to again figure out what can we do in this final round to bring it within 2 before the half.
And this game has been a lot about Juliano and what she does. She's one of the few IGLs who plays on that dive role.
Oh, yeah.
And in this Raze composition, it's very much changed the style with her leading from the front so often with these early pushes into mid.
Yeah, she had previously been a jet player on this map, so had some of those abilities, but I think especially when they're doing those the way. Instead, maybe Muffyn is going to try to push down tube. That could be an idea. Just fight your way out because you have the Viper's Pit on A, so maybe expecting G2 to try and get some pressure down in mid off this. The operator is going to go for that very late peek here.
Muffyn has never played here before, but Mary is ready regardless. A huge opening kill for her. I'm going to try and reclaim the space off of the wall. babytz makes it across off of that, but G2 is fine to stay slow now with their player advantage.
And now, because you burned that wall in mid, right, you have no information in kitchen, so you feel like maybe you have to block that off. You don't have that as an option when you're retaking a site, right, to throw that up, try to get at least a half stick, maybe even a full defuse, whatnot, block away any sort of utility. And it means that their B hold is very, very soft at the moment. babytz, the only player here to do anything.
And it's a good awareness of the setup of X10. This chamber trademark, when you're putting that turret in mid, is almost always here. And with the chamber dead, that opens up lots of opportunities towards B.
What is this, though? Juliano is the new mid lurk for G2. No paint shells, I think. They just decided, hey, we don't need the satchels to get in there, so we're going to use her as that thorn in the side of X10. Juliano killing her opposite IGL. Just break open this round for G2.
And G2 has been loving this deep wall. With that lurk activated, they hold so much space. And Mary is posted on the line. Another shot connected with that operator. Alyssa, the last standing. X10 is locked out of this one. A showstopper on top of it all. And Mimi will close things out. A prime gaming flawless to end. Going to be a tough task to come back in this second half. But to reflect on the first and get us ready for the rest of the game. The ancient era when we still saw like Jet combined with a second duelist, or even when we saw Omen on this map, I don't know.
Those were dark times, the Jet plus Omen on this one, back when people thought Viper was completely troll. But is babytz actually going to take first contact here on the Sage, getting chunked instantly? babytz's got a wall. You don't want to lose that. That's like the most important piece of utility when trying to execute over towards B, so that one's going to sting.
Yeah, and the desk was talking about Mary's confidence. This may be her first real chamber game in an official with G2, but she's looking pretty solid here. Already a dink, she'll stick by for a little bit longer, and the second player will fall off too, but now they have so much utility to stall this out. This is the value of the Raze.
Oh, the Viper wall does just instantly come down here. I was wondering, are they actually going to execute in? You can see the Killjoy Molly comes to try and clear back yellow as well. That's one of the hardest things to do here when you're playing a no duelist comp here on this map, is actually getting the space to fight back yellow. So using the utility does cost you some in terms of post plant, but does make that a little bit easier. But they're just bailing out of B entirely.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well. This is one of the few maps where you oftentimes do see that the fade Raze separated out from each other, playing more individual setups, and that wall for Mimi now.
That's a fantastic wall.
It's so well timed. 40 seconds for that to decay. They'll have to break it or all funnel through 410. There's a molly to go down as well. There is so much stall from G2.
There's a paint shell too from
And they
Juliano.
have to push straight through. This is a death drop. 10 seconds left for X10. They have a wall of their own, but can they get past Mimi? Not yet. 10 on the clock. The plant not down, and JinNy dead to rights. 9-4 as G2 take their pistol.
Yeah.
Eco, they're one of the teams that play with the Killjoy that actually often has favors this side of the map. Pretty uncommon with this comp.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where if you're able to work in towards that B site, that's maybe a little bit easier to take. But when you have to take A, it's really hard to get past this Viper wall. You don't have a flash or anything to push you on past there. Not that flashes are necessarily mandatory on this map, but definitely help when getting past this Viper wall on the A side.
And that initial setup in mid, pretty cool for G2, but Glance, I'd say pretty cool as well. 3 kills for him.
Yeah, Glance is having a very nice time of things. Mary fought the player that peeked deep back B main, but it's so interesting seeing how Mary has taken so much more of a forefront for this team when previously she's been locking in the Sage.
And look at that aggression.
Wow.
G2 is just full sending it into spawn. Mary's hitting a shot with her headhunter, and now X10 is pinched. They're trapped towards B. They're forced to commit to the site.
Yeah, and Mary's able to get the one in B main as well. Like, there's nowhere to go. Petra is stuck under bottom side here too. You're never ready for her to be swinging you on this position. Mary is revealed and Polly's able to clear here, but there's the stinger in the back. Petra finds one, and it's all chaos here. How do you even plant a spike?
But G2 have a double flank. They're making their way back around, and they've dropped into spawn 2. Juliano for 1, and Polly down. No heroics for her this time. A 10th round for G2.
Hold on. Juliano pushed A main, right? She was one of the players that was sprinting up belt, and then she's swinging you Snowman too and killing you there. She's just sprinting around the map, an absolute marathon runner here for G2. Play inside the Viper's pit, that could be a way for them, but I think with the way G2 have been fighting forward, I mean, look at that. Like, the paint shells instantly, with the Slorb as well. The setup is there, so you can't actually quickly get out into A main.
And I think the way that G2 is playing around mid without a Killjoy has been really excellent. You constantly have Petra holding there with the cats in the haunt to re-clear space, but you've also had different players pivoting in and out. This time Mary's in position, last time it was Juliano. It is a very flexible defensive-sided setup, which has meant X10 hasn't had a single round where they've managed to find a gap and exploit a lurk, which generally they're pretty good at.
And I think actually one of the biggest benefits you get with something like the Fade on this defensive side as opposed to a Sova is like the double cats as opposed to one.
She didn't even
Yeah, I mean, Mary's just absolutely
Reasonable.
carving. You're not going to do anything against that. X10 just hiding back towards their spawn against that operator. But I think having like multiple cats to re-clear mid as opposed to just the one Sova drone does give you a lot of ways to counter out the lack of having that second sentinel.
Oh, Alyssa finding a nice shot onto Juliano there, just stomping her way through A main. That's a rifle conceded, something for X10 here.
I mean, you asked me to cope earlier. This would be the ultimate follow-through if they were able to make something happen with this, but I think time really working against them. 20 seconds left, still have to get through.
And a Viper's pit. That is insult to injury.
And the wall, again, like Mimi is just so ready to lock this down in the last second. Polly is able to find one, but you're never going to be able to plant this spike. Alyssa, it's only a 1 versus 2, but again, the clock is gone. You can't get the plant off. The round is lost. G2 move on to map point.
G2 is here. G2 is home. 12.
Maybe like to see them work late mid-lurk into the equation. Interestingly enough, yeah, okay, Polly did end up throwing that mid-morb down there, so they do have the ability to rotate out.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Morbin back into mid on that one.
I don't know if I accept that one.
You don't accept, denied?
There are certain things you can shorten that make sense. I don't know if I'm on board for
Oh, look, we've got the Sage slow orb, the Slorb.
Okay.
We've got the Chamber Operator, the Chop. I don't see why we can't have a Morb for the mid orb.
The council's gonna have to decide.
The council will decide, okay.
I'll send it up the chain of command. But for now, let's see if X10 can send something more to maybe build into a comeback here.
That's a segue.
Yeah, I segue.
All right, wall comes down. That's fairly committal, and Mimi takes first contact on the Sage. Instantly gonna fall back, right? G2, you have numbers advantage. Maybe even go for like a late. Actually, Mimi doesn't have that wall, so can't actually do that one. Just looking to take another fight. Okay. She is confident. Would you look at that?
3 left alive. Viper's pit is down, and the plant coming through. babytz will be able to convert that one. So 3 versus 5. G2 on the retake. Resurrection for Mimi, but she's not looking to use it. She wants to fight into this pit.
And look, into this pit, you have a Seeker, you have a Seize, you have Paint Shells, you have a Haunt, like so much utility for G2 to flush X10 out of it.
There's the first layer. Seize nade. Shorty for babytz though. If these players get wounded by the pit, she could find so much value. 1 HP on glance, but babytz is down just 2. They're deafened, they're dead. Mimi on her 3rd, and JinNy in main. She's trapped, and this one might just be over. G2, 13-4, make a statement in their opener on LAN.
What a start for this team here. Another day at the office, locking things up for G2, giving the fans a little bit of a show here as